Hey, y'all. Welcome to Shades of Brown, the podcast that discusses the ever-evolving and sometimes contradicting thoughts of a Black millennial. I'm your host, AlyB, and I'm very grateful that you're here with me for this episode. A very special welcome to you if this is your first time here with me. I hope you stick around. It's the Thanksgiving episode, y'all. Thanksgiving is next week. So I figured I would share with y'all what I'm most thankful for this year. Before we unpack that, let's get into Shades of Dating. Shades of Dating is a segment where me and my guest share dating stories that further confirm the dating pool has a pee in it. And I sometimes tell y'all, sometimes it be us. So I got another story for y'all where I was the one that was, tripping. This was back in college and I was living with my sister at the time. She and I had an apartment and we were on like opposite sides of the apartment. So I couldn't hear what was going on over there. And the door was on her side of the, on her side of the apartment. And vice versa. She couldn't hear what was going on my side. So I was dating this guy was pursuing me. And I wasn't really sure if I was interested, but I was giving it a try, or at least trying, because he was, a nice guy. But one day I was on the phone with my best friend in my bathroom. And I'm just telling her, about what was going on. I was letting her know, I was like, this guy, he's pursuing me. He's nice, but, and I began to express all the things I didn't, like about him. And I went into great detail about the things I didn't like about him, even down to like some hygienic stuff. I forgot what it was. I'm not sure if it was his breath? It was something. It was something very like, something I would never say to someone's face, at least as directly as I was expressing it to my best friend. So we catch up. We were on the phone for a hot minute too. We're just talking and talking and talking. I just was going on and on and on about how, this guy, he's persistent, but it's just all these things that I just was not. And I really wish I could remember, y'all, the exact things I was saying, but they just weren't nice things. And I wasn't even being mean-spirited. I was just being very honest about what he was or who he was, or at least, from the surface, like this is what he looks like. And this is whatever. I just know for sure it was something about hygiene. I just can't remember if it was his breath or otherwise. I can't remember. So I get on the phone with her, and I head to or at least I'm thinking I'm going to go out into my room, then head to the living room. Y'all, when I get out of my bathroom, the guy was standing in my bedroom. He had heard the entire conversation I had with my best friend. And I didn't hear him come in because, again, like the door was on my sister's side. So apparently she let him in, I didn't hear him knock. I didn't hear nothing because I was in my bathroom on the other side of the apartment. So I just wouldn't have known he was there. Came out and he was standing just posted up against the wall with this just very somber face. Like, wow, you really said those things about me. Oh my gosh, y'all, I felt so small. I felt so awful because I was just being honest. Like, I don't think I called him ugly though. I'm sure I didn't call him ugly. No, because he's not ugly. He just wasn't my type at the time. Y'all, he heard every word. Yep. When I saw that man, I just remember running out the apartment and leaving. Like I left. Like I just left. I didn't know what to do. It's like, I gotta go. I'm sorry. It was so bad, y'all. He heard everything. And this was not like a quick conversation. Like, I was going into great detail. And he just posted, he didn't say nothing. He didn't say a peep. He just listened to the whole conversation. Oh man, that was terrible. So yeah, I left. That was that. Maybe it was good that he heard those things, so he could go and improve on some things. Amen. I did him. I was helping. Oh Lord. So yeah, that happened, and there's that. I need to have more guests on so I can get their dating stories, because I'm starting to get really embarrassed telling mine week after week. This was not the plan. The plan was, to have a guest like every other episode, so it'll be back and forth, But I'm like, I haven't had enough guests yet, and I'm starting to just feel ashamed. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this segment for next season. I don't know. Or maybe I just need to get more guests on, because, man, I was like, Lord, I be out here just, I've grown, growth. Okay, let's unpack it. Thanksgiving is upon us, and I hope you guys have, really fun plans to celebrate family. It's more of a family day. We should change the name. We should change the name to Thanksgiving. What y'all want to call it? What's that guy's name? Ice-T. Didn't he change the name to Family Day or something? But anyways, next Thursday, we're celebrating family gatherings and food. We're celebrating low vibrational food next week. And I wanted to take this time to just quickly share the things that I'm thankful for, at least most thankful for this year. And I would hope that you would join me and share in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, share in the comments what you are most thankful for. And if you're listening, on Apple or Spotify or wherever, I'd love to hear from you too. Hop on over to social media on Instagram or Facebook and drop in the comments what you're most thankful for. And if you do want to hop over to YouTube to comment, that would be great too. But I would love to hear from you all what you're most thankful for this year. So for me this year, I am really, really thankful for my parents. As if you've been listening to the podcast for more than a few months, you are aware that in December 2020, Holy Spirit led me to move back home to Dothan, Alabama. And I have shared a lot about how challenging that's been for me, as an adult who's been gone from home since graduating high school, how challenging it's been to move back home. But I'm sure it's been challenging for them too, having their home constantly occupied. It's been almost 2 years now. And I stay out the way. I'm on the other side, but it's still someone else in their home, living in their home. They've been gracious enough to allow me this time to figure out whatever it is, that I'm supposed to be doing in this season. And they never complain. They don't ask me for much. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't have been able to obey God's instructions in the way I have been able to if they didn't allow me to move back in with them. Well, I won't say move back in with them, because the house they live in now isn't the house that I grew up in. So yes, that they allowed me to move in their home. I'm grateful that they have given me this space and grace to figure things out and start over in a sense and bump my head and trial and error and all those things. So I'm very, very grateful for my parents and for their graciousness. In addition to that, I'm also grateful for my family just in general. I'm grateful for their health and the fact that they're still here. My family has experienced great loss in the past. I have lost 2 siblings. I lost them back to back in 2008 and then 2010. Um, since then, though, our family has been blessed to not experience a huge loss. I still have my grandparents. My mom's parents are still here with us. They're in their mid to late 80s, and they are doing well. Of course, they're slowing down, but they're not like they're still independent. They still live alone, together, get on each other's nerves, that my extended family isn't experiencing any, like serious major health issues at the moment. And I'm just really, really grateful for that because it just could be another way, It's a lot happening, and it always seems like at the end of the year, if I was talking to somebody about this and they gave good language for it, it's almost like death has a quota. And towards the end of the year, the last quarter, it's like, oh, the quota isn't met. Let's rack up, And it's eerie, it's alarming, it's concerning, it's scary, to know how close death is at any given moment and how everything can change in an instant. So I'm really, really grateful that my family is well and healthy and here with us, here with me. And at the same time, I am praying for those who are grieving because it sucks. It sucks so bad to lose loved ones. I am thankful that I don't have ADHD. So if you listened to my episode with Tori and Timms, I spoke to her about all things ADHD. And I stated in the episode, along with another episode, I stated that I was 99.9999% sure that I have had ADHD or some sort of like neurodevelopmental disorder based on tons of observation of my own experience, research, all things. I was just sure. I relate to so much of the ADHD experience. Well, I finally had my psychological assessment, and the psychologist was wonderful. Her name is Dr. Henderson out of North Florida. So I want to say like Tallahassee area, somewhere around there. Anyways, I met with her and she did a very thorough assessment. And at the end of it, I'm assuming it was like a pre-assessment because at the end she said she was not going to recommend me for the full psych eval because I am not on the radar for ADHD. But it was a very, very thorough pre-assessment. She was very kind. She was, like I said, thorough. And I felt like she did her due diligence in making sure to ask me, all the right questions that would allow me to give her insight on my experiences and why I was requesting this in the first place. And, of course, she did confirm that I do have anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, which I don't know that I've ever stated it like that. I speak a lot about just anxiety in general. It's a very common experience, but I don't know that I've ever stated to myself or anybody else that I have an anxiety disorder. But she said she did explain how anxiety and ADHD mimic. And Tori and Timms did mention in the episode I did with her about ADHD, how ADHD and anxiety are so similar in a lot of ways. So this psychologist was able to break down, the similarities and why I felt like it was ADHD. But she said, as far as cognitively, she said she doesn't believe, she cannot see where I have any cognitive issues. And that was really, really a great, great relief because I have been struggling mentally, trying to just figure this out. So it was really relieving, and it just felt like a ton of weight lifted off of me to know, okay, it's not that, but that is actually anxiety, and that my anxiety has been heightened because I've been in transition, and I've been in perpetual transition for the past 2 years. And she explained to me that that's what's happening. Being back home, it has triggered anxiety in a whole new way. And that's what it is. But because, I have coping strategies for that already, I should be good to go and I can, get back to implementing those. And of course, still, go to therapy on an as needed basis. So I'm very, very thankful to know that, that I don't have any cognitive developmental concerns. Yeah. Speaking of, I want to make one correction. In the episode titled Black Client, White Therapist, or White Therapist, Black Client, I think it's Black Client, White Therapist, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, that episode came out. And I stated in the episode that I was seeking out a new psychologist because psychologists and psychiatrists are the only ones who can diagnose and or prescribe medication when needed versus a mental health therapist, versus a social worker, or like a LPC, licensed professional counselor, or other types of mental health professionals. I stated that it's only psychologists and psychiatrists who can diagnose and prescribe. I was corrected. Actually, in addition to those professions, PAs and nurse practitioners can also diagnose mental health conditions such as ADHD, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, etc. And actually, all of those that I mentioned, PAs, nurse practitioners, psychologists, and psychiatrists, of those, everyone except psychologists can prescribe medication. So I learned that. Thank you so much, Precious Abbott, for correcting me. I appreciate that. Precious, is a nurse practitioner. So yes, wanted to make that correction. And I'm just overall grateful that I've crossed that off, that I can, X that out. And I have better language for what I've been experiencing and why I thought it was ADHD. This episode is sponsored by the newly released book, Bye Bye Burnout, written by Nikita Lawrence. Nikita Lawrence is a dynamic women empowerment speaker, coach, and best-selling author. She coaches, elevates, and mentors powerful women leaders to confidently pursue their purpose and their lifelong dreams using their God-given gifts. Nikita helps women dismantle the negativity that previously kept them stuck, exhausted, and unsure of themselves and their worth using a simple framework. The book, Bye Bye Burnout, is a no-shame guide written to help powerful women leaders unpack their stressors, find freedom from exhaustion, and experience more peace. This book is not a replacement for medical advice, but is a trusted companion to your medical provider's recommended treatment or recovery plan. Bye Bye Burnout is a must-read for women, moms, wives, sisters, and friends going through a season of transition who want peace and need to hear from the still small voice inside. Purchase your copy at www.wakeupyourgift.com and save 10% using the code Shades of Brown. Again, that is www.wakeupyourgift.com and save 10% using the code Shades of Brown. The link is also listed in the description. Click on it and get you a copy. I have mine and I am loving it. One thing I like about it is it's not just a book, but in here she has opportunities for you to journal. She has some prompts for you to work through some things and to self-reflect. And she also, right before each chapter, I love this, she has these pages where she has these declarations, like before chapter 4, she has where it says experience and enjoy, right? But you can color in it. You can color in the title of the chapter. So in the first couple, I have done just that. I have not colored since I don't know when. But I had actually been wanting to. And I got this book right around the time I was thinking that, and I had no idea this was included. I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. And I have found that coloring, y'all, it is so relaxing. Look, I color. Look at my coloring. Look, y'all, I've been coloring for real. I've been coloring. And it's just a really good way to de-stress, to relax. So you're not just getting a book, but you're getting an opportunity to actually work through some of your stuff. So hello, peace. Get you a copy at www.wakeupyourgifts.com and use the code Shades of Brown. to save 10%. We got sponsors, y'all. Okay, back to the show. Another thing I'm most thankful for this year is for a loving community. I don't know what it is about this year. I just turned 32 and it just clicked for me. It clicked for me in a new way that I am deeply loved. And I have known that in regards to love from God and love from my closest friends. But in general, I don't know that I have felt that or believed that. But something clicked for me recently, and it has been very reassuring and very comforting to know that I am deeply loved by a really, really amazing community that goes beyond God and my closest friends, that includes my family and acquaintances and colleagues and Facebook friends and Instagram friends, that people who I may have never even met in person before. I have a really, really beautiful and solid community of people who root for me, who support me, and who are cheering me on and want the best for me, and who speak well of me in rooms when I'm not there, and who cover me in prayer and uplift me. I appreciate that. And it is, I'm more aware of that now more than ever before. And I'm really, really, really thankful for that truth, that I had that experience. And lastly, I'm thankful for y'all, my listeners. There is no Shades of Brown without y'all. And I'm grateful for how y'all rock with me. Y'all encourage me. Like for real, when you let me know, how I've helped you through an episode or something that I said, or when you let me know that a guest that I chose to have on really, really helped you through something, or gave you language for something, or made sense out of one of your experiences, or helped you see God differently, or helped you see yourself in a new light. When you guys share that, it really, really keeps me going. Y'all let me know, when I need to add a different perspective to a conversation, when I need to balance it out. Y'all let me know when y'all wasn't really rocking with something. Y'all let me know, what's working, what ain't. Y'all buy merch. Y'all share the podcast with your friends. Y'all share ways of how I can, make this a monetizable business endeavor versus it being, just something that I do. Y'all constantly, are sending me recommendations, like, invite them on, or have them on, or do this, or try that, or how about this? And I really, really appreciate y'all. I really, really do. Y'all be rocking with your girl, and I love y'all for that. I really, really do. So thank you. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your push. Thank you for your encouragement. When I, disappear on hiatus for longer than planned, y'all like, where you at, girl? And I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. So ultimately, or finally, I am most thankful for y'all. I love y'all. Virtual hugs. So yeah, that's all that I have for y'all today. So enjoy your holidays. Let's get into Brownie Points. This, of course, is a segment where we celebrate ourselves on a recent victory, whether that victory is a small, tiny little victory, or whether it is the most amazing, huge, some amazing, huge accomplishment. Whatever it is, this is the moment where we celebrate that. This week, I am giving myself brownie points for canceling my trip to Charlotte. I was scheduled to be in Charlotte. Actually, this week that you're listening to this, I was scheduled to be in Charlotte, just hanging out, kicking it, exploring, enjoying alone time. I never get alone time because I live with my parents. And even when I travel, I'm typically with someone, so I very, very, very rarely get alone time. And I'm talking about, for an extended period of time, for more than, a day. So yeah, I've got some long-term goals and some milestones that I want to hit by the end of the year that I set a few months ago. And in order to stay on track with that, I need to throw some extra money to some other things versus travel. So I chose to take my travel budget for the month and throw it towards something else. So I'm giving myself brownie points for choosing to sacrifice this trip, even though I, really need some alone time. But I do believe that my discipline in this area over the next several months will definitely pay off so that I can have infinite alone time. So drop in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, drop in the comments what you are giving yourself brownie points for. And of course, if you are listening to the audio only version, I'd love for you to hop on over to social media or YouTube and drop in the comments what you are giving yourself brownie points for. I love to hear from y'all. I love to share in celebration with you for your wins. It's all a big deal. Every win is a win. A win is a win. So thanks again for tuning in to this episode. I truly pray that you have an incredible holiday next week. Y'all stay safe, travel safe, and do all the things. Of course, have a Black Friday sale coming up. So y'all be on the lookout for that. And, go ahead and add some Shades of Brown merch to your carts and let it sit there until the sale comes on. And, y'all can go ahead and enjoy that for Black Friday. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Shades of Brown Podcast. I would love for you to follow me there. And the links are in the description below. To buy some podcast merch, please visit everythingalyb.myspreadshop.com or just click the link in the podcast description below. To become a sponsor, you can click the link in my description and sign up to do that. I would love and appreciate that. Thank you so much. It helps a ton because podcasting ain't free. So thank you for my current sponsor, and thanks in advance for y'all who will come along. Also, if you want to support the podcast in a way that does not cost you any money, there are plenty of ways you can do that. You can subscribe to my mailing list. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel, Everything AlyB. You can leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And of course, you can share this podcast with your people. Send it in your group chats. Share the promo post I put on Instagram and Facebook. Share those on your pages, on your stories or whatever. Whatever it is, I appreciate it. I thank you for those, who will comment or tag me in posts when folks are like, I'm looking for a podcast to listen to. What should I listen to? And y'all tag me. That means so much to me. So thank you. It is as valuable as anything else. So yes, those are some ways you can support the podcast. And if you want to start a podcast, but you're just not sure how to start, where to start, when to start, why to start, I would love to help you. I do have a free podcast starter kit you can download. But if you want something in addition to that, you can schedule a free consultation with me. And I'd love to chat with you about how we can help you get started. And that is all, y'all. So thanks again for tuning in. And as always, I'd love to leave you with this. I hope that you would be well, love well, and be loved well. You deserve that. Until next time, bye. Happy Thanksgiving.